What rich people problems have you seen? Somebody was posting today wondering which Chanel bags felt like they were missing from their collection. My coworker, a few rungs above me on the corporate ladder, was upset recently that she had to drive her 2020 spare car as her 2024 was in the shop and her son had borrowed her other 2024. Divorce is 10x as complicated for rich people than for poor folks. Friend of mine struck it rich and he said he didn't know who his friends were anymore, and it was actually really tough. I knew a trust fund baby that every time she caused an argument with her friend she would buy them random expensive gifts to try and apologize. I told her friend she does that because that's what her parents do, that's all she knows. Kind of sad honestly. Late for work due to the bad weather, so they had to wait until the weather is good for the helicopter ride. Their parents give them $20K a month for nothing, yet make them work 15 hours a week. A lady going nuclear at the mall when she found out the cosmetic counter ran out of her 1000 skin cream. It's an anti-aging treatment made of sea minerals that scientists literally sing to while it's being prepared in the lab. OMG. I know a story an acquaintance of mine told me. He was working with a rich girl and they were traveling on business in her Porsche, so when at one point the speaker in her car failed, she literally stopped the car and called her employees and waited for her Ferrari to be delivered to her. Rich dad making his son get a job at Walmart to teach him responsibility. I had the misfortune of working with the son. He constantly reminded his coworkers that he didn't even need the job. Years ago I dispatched tow trucks. Some kid 16 called from a road in the Hamptons because his A6 had a flat. He wanted me to tell him which side of the fucking spare faced out, the yellow side or the other fucking side. I said I dunno. Do you want a tow truck? He yelled no asshole, just fucking tell me. I said well I've never seen your car, so how should I know? He yelled and hung up. Telling a coworker he said why didn't you tell him the air valve faces out? Because fuck that guy is why. I used to work for a CPA firm. I saw people with mid-six-figure annual incomes who were always broke and people of very modest incomes who could buy anything they want. Rich people frequently screw up handling money. Hey, don't track my private jet. I witnessed neighbors in Greenwich damn near have a fist fight arguing over who owned a tiny little sliver of land. Ex-in-laws ordered 5 solid marble fireplaces for their new house. Delivery people left them on the sidewalk. They had to figure out how to get them inside. I work as a paramedic and had a guy called 911 because he didn't know how he would drive home with the sun in his eyes. We walked him to the nearest big box store across the street and encouraged him to buy some sunglasses. He drove away totally fine after thanking us for our help. I have a relative who was given multiple millions for being a whistleblower against a multinational pharmaceutical company. This relative is married to a woman with the dark triad psychiatric complex of disorders. This relative is terminally codependent and an ordained minister. These two are very religious, but breathtakingly frauds. All of that had been evident for 3 decades, but the influx of money fanned the flames of her mental problems and emboldened her. Because of his codependency, he allows her to abuse his own elderly parents and defends her in doing so. The money has destroyed their souls. What had been manageable psychiatrically became toxic after the awarding of the money after the lawsuit. My ex-boss owned a company worth tens of millions of dollars and eventually sold it for $750 million. He was constantly making statements like we have an infinity pool at our beach house, but we hardly get time to use it, or I just found out it will be another 2 months until I get my brand new Rolls Royce. They just lived in a completely different world.